Hi everyone, we are with Kyena Cornelius and Danielle Kovach, and we're talking about teacher recruitment. We know that the shortage of teachers is a big topic right now, as well as trying to bring in diversity. So what are some of the solutions that you guys are talking about for those issues?
Yeah, absolutely. The teacher shortage in our nation is a huge issue, and it's been happening for many years. So CEC is tackling this head on. It is embedded in our strategic plan. So our goal is to start building and creating that diverse workforce in special education teachers. And one of the things we did last year was created a 12-part webinar series. We collaborated with CEDAR, and I think it was 26 or 27 other organizations. And within this webinar series, we talked about how we can use evidence-based practices to support and sustain our workforce. So that was one of the things that we were doing, and it was free for all. And then we're also now working on that pipeline as well. So we're giving our student teachers a free membership and support as they're going through student teaching, and we also have a student teacher support work group as well. So those are just a couple of things that we're working on, but it definitely is an issue that we are aware of. I see it as a teacher in my classroom, in my schools, so we are tackling it head on.
And to add to that, being a partner with CEDAR has been great and will continue to be. A lot of the individual CEDAR states have these mentoring and induction programs to help teachers in their first years. And working with Danielle and the CEC, we're the work group. We're brand new, started a work group, just recruited everyone, just getting everyone on board, but looking at these things to scale up. How has Georgia, how is Minnesota, how is Rhode Island, and all of these states that are looking at their mentoring, and they're having good results. So how can we make that scalable for the nation, for all of our new teachers?
And I know in all the classrooms in the nation, we're seeing shortages. So I would imagine that for special education, it's even more dramatic. So how does that retention work?
Well.
What we're finding is that as we have teachers in the classroom, there are some things that are coming up that we're not quite maybe being supportive for them. And I know Kyena, you can talk a lot about this too.
I will, but yeah, I was thinking retention. I can talk a lot more about attrition than I can retention, unfortunately.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have a lot more data on why teachers leave than why they stay. So that's problematic, right? We know that across the nation, a special education teacher is more likely to have a principal that doesn't understand or believe even in the principles of special education and specially designed instruction. And so there's this whole feeling of role ambiguity. How am I supposed to do my job when my boss doesn't get my job? So there's that. There's the isolation because I may be the only special ed teacher in my building where the third grade group is really a good team and they have gelled, but I can't divide my time as a special education teacher to building time with my students and their lessons, and then getting to the third grade team meeting, getting to the fourth grade team meeting, getting to the fifth grade team meeting, because I may have all three of those grade bands that I'm providing services for. So that isolation, that role understanding, and then just the protectiveness of helping our students feel included, that can take an emotional toll on teachers. And the list goes on.
Right, I'm sure you could talk about that forever.
Mm-hmm.
So for 2023, for these teachers, what are some of the CEC tools or resources that they can be accessing?
So we're providing support, giving them mentors, someone to reach out to, someone who knows, who's been there. After being in the classroom for 25 years, you look for people to help you, to mentor you, to say, hey, we are here for you, we are here to support you. Mental health in our teachers is a huge issue right now. Sometimes it's just someone to talk to, and we have that for them. We have our CEC community. And I've seen questions from IEP writing to behaviors to student motivation. We've got a whole nation of support for teachers to reach out to. And there's other things that we're building, like our teacher repository, where teachers can go in and pull lessons from other teachers, made by teachers for teachers. And it's also, vetted to make sure that it is, a sound practice to put in your classroom. And CEC right now is starting collaborations with other organizations that specialize in certain content areas. So we can take content, whether it be math or ELA, and branch with other organizations and say, here's how you can get support in your classroom in these areas. So, it's as again, being a teacher, a lot of it really comes down to support and knowing that you have that support and you can reach out to that support, and CEC is that place for our teachers to get that guidance and support.
100%. So I'm also not only a professor of special ed, I'm a mother of a special ed teacher. So my daughter came to CEC last year, and she was been a teacher it was her 7th year of teaching, and she was in tears. This was the first time she had PD that was designed for her. She was getting her PD, and like I hope a lot of our teachers do, through Teaching Exceptional Children, our journal for practitioners, because it makes that research digestible. Teachers don't have time to read the research and know, now how am I going to do this? Where Teaching Exceptional Children here's the step by step. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Teachers can do that. They have the time to digest that and make it applicable. So these are resources that we are providing to our members and getting in the hands of practicing teachers.
And I'm sure for the members, it's nice to hear, okay, here are some things that I can use in the future when I go back to the classroom. Danielle, as past president, what are some things that you think back on your presidency, if you will, and think, I'm so glad we accomplished that. I'm so glad we did that.
It was certainly an amazing year, one that I truly will cherish forever. It was an interesting year, though, because we were also still in the midst of COVID. So where convention last year, we were worried more about the safety of our members and worried about, the numbers. Are we going to have convention? And it was our 100th anniversary. So a lot of that came into play. But as president, I really wanted to make sure that our members knew that we were here for them, that we supported them, starting a monthly newsletter, sending it out to the members. Here's what's going on. Here's what we have happening. Here's what's for you. And of course, being a teacher, I focused on teachers as well. And several of the initiatives we had with teachers, we had our Teachers Lounge, which I absolutely loved. We had 2 sessions. We had over, I think, 80 or 90 teachers. And what was so awesome was that while that was a virtual event and it was a way for teachers to collaborate with teachers on issues that they wanted to talk about, we were able to bring that to convention this year. And we had an in-person teachers lounge. We called it our Teacher Tea. And teachers picked the topics they wanted to talk about. And it was just so amazing to give teachers a space. And it was not a complaining session. It was a let's solve what we've got going on here and work with each other. So things like that, just bringing our members together, knowing that we're here to support them, and also building a legacy and promoting leadership within our members. Are things that I, truly valued and cherished from my time as president. So I'm looking forward to what the future is going to hold, and I'm thrilled to be working with Dr. Jasper and Dr. Thompson. They're both phenomenal leaders as well, and I'm here to support them, but excited to see the future of CEC.
Well, thank you both. Wonderful information that I hope that the people who are participating can access and they can bring back to their cities. So, all right, thank you both, and thank you for watching.